And I'm back. And where I am today, I'm in that little cabin that I was putting the Zinsser 123 on the walls last week. And we got a coat of paint over that in, most places. And it's got some more it needs done. But the job here today is something I'm going to do. And I'm not recommending that you do it yourself. Probably best for you to hire a professional for this next job. But I'm going to take my precautions. I'm going to wear disposable coveralls. I'm going to wear a P100 respirator, a full face respirator, gloves, and I'm going to wet down some of this stuff as I remove it. Now, what it is this ceiling. Now, this ceiling's old drywall. You see these renovation shows where people just go in and they rip and tear, and it seems like all a bunch of fun, but it's not, because there could be all kinds of stuff, especially asbestos in old drywall. Now, more often than not, the asbestos is in the joint compound where they join sheets together. Now I can see the way that they did this was they didn't mud and tape the joints on this old drywall. They just put little lats here like that. But this is easily, 60, 70-year-old drywall. So it's probably got, it's a chance it could have asbestos in it for sure. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get suited up, and I got a spray bottle with some soapy water, and I'm going to just wet the edges where, I'm going to disturb anything. And I'm going to pull these slats down. And the whole idea is I'm going to do it all today. I'm just going to get this over with. And it's not very many sheets, there's a couple of sheets in here. There was one that had come down. This roof had leaked a couple of years ago, and this one bowed. And I kitted up and took that one out a couple of years ago. And, before I got committed to this renovation entirely. But I think the best thing to do is just get rid of this stuff. And I'll show you in here. You can see why it's got mold in it too. Right? See, this is black mold. And this had leaked at one point too. So you see how this was kind of bowed down. You can see the black mold there. So any of that stuff is toxic and hazardous and not good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, like I say, get kitted up. I'm going to wet down. Look at, see there's something like that where it's been broken. I'm going to wet it down and, spray it a little bit. And then I'm going to I'll do some smaller pieces first. And then we'll pull this down. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I've got soap and water here. I've got a container. This cooler is actually full of soapy water. And what I'm going to do is when I get everything outside, I'm going to ditch the disposable coveralls, put them in garbage bags, and then I'm going to wash myself, change all my clothes, and wet my hair and scrub my hair and do all that. And any chance that there's particles on me, it'll be washed off. And then the next step would be coming back in here later and mopping everything out, wetting down anything where I see anything left on the ceiling, and anything left down here. I'm going to cover this up. And then, just, take precautions. The thing is some people don't understand what the risk is with asbestos. The risk with asbestos is the particles, if they're breathed in, the tiny little particles, and they don't break down in the body. So when they get in your lungs, they don't break down. They stay there, and then there's scar tissue that's formed around them, and sometimes that can lead to cancer growing in your lung or wherever, your respiratory tract. Other than that, it's just a mineral, right? They mine it out of the ground. It was the greatest thing. At one point, in history, they put it in everything. And brake pads had it, and maybe some of them still do. So it's always good to be precautious. It's always good to take precautions with any of this stuff. But I'm gonna take my precautions. I'm gonna show you the mask I'm wearing and everything, and we'll get this out of here. And the other thing is to get this out of here, I'm going to wrap it in a tarp outside, kind of moisten it and wrap it in a tarp, and then I'm going to take it to the landfill. But not really something I want to do, but I just want to get it behind me. I want to get it out of here. And then what we can do is we can prime and paint the wood up here, and that'll look fine. Maybe someday it'll just be pine boards on the ceiling or something, but especially since I've got to change one anyway. Like this would have had to been replaced, and and then paint all this. And the way I look at it, it's a waste of paint to paint this, especially in here where it's kind of, you know, it's compromised and it's got mold. And so, yeah, it's dangerous. And I'm not entering into it lightly. I just, I'm going to show you what I'm doing, but I don't, you know, suggest that you go ahead and do this kind of stuff yourself. There are professionals that do this. But in essence, that's what they do. They kit up, they mask off everything, and they, especially if it's in a, you know, one part of a house. This is the whole place, so it's going to come down. It's going to go outside. We're going to mop everything down after. We're going to wear masks the whole time, and yeah, we'll keep ourselves clean and yeah, rinse everything off afterwards. I'm going to go outside and have my wash station ready outside, so when I'm done, I can put everything in the garbage bag, like I say, wash myself, wash my hair, and rinse everything off, and then put on new clothes. And yeah, so anyway, that's the plan, Stan. Pretty nasty looking stuff. That's leaked up there at one point. You can see the black mold. That's not good for anybody, right? So anyway, let me get set up here, and I'll get back to you.
Okay, I'm back, and I've cleaned stuff up a bit, and I'm in my outfit, as you can see. Mask on, P100 cartridges, and I start pulling that down. I'll pull some little bit of trim off here. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, I'm midway through it. I got that down. I'm soaking these piles. Okay, so I've taken out those boards. I've kitted up here again. I've taken out those longitudinal boards that the drywall was hung on. Now I'm spraying everything down, wiping it out, and If I look in here, same thing. Yeah. I got soapy water here, quite a heavy dose of dish soap. And just spraying everything off. I got rags, I'm just wiping things out. There was a bunch of squirrel acorns up here. Oh, just, you know, clean it out. That reminds me of those seagulls on, we're Finding Nemo, right? The seagulls, mine. Mine. Maybe I'm going a little crazy doing this. Maybe. Important to have a good mask and good cartridges, you know, and be clean shaven. You guys that got a little scruff on your chin there and you think it's cool, you'll never get a good seal in a respirator, ever. You gotta be clean shaven. And I mean like fresh, like I shaved half an hour before I came down here today to put this on. Even like a day, half a day's stubble on your chin and around here, it'll affect the seal. Don't take any chances. Get a good mask, get good cartridges. These are P100. Make sure the mask fits and you have a good shave first, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies too, have a good shave before you put your mask on. Okay, so it's wiped out a bit. Okay, so I got it wiped out, mopped out. I'm gonna do it one more time before I call it good enough. But yeah, it looks pretty good. It's coming.
Okay, so it's a couple of days later after I've pulled this ceiling out of here. And what I did yesterday was I used that 123, the Zinsser's 123, and I did this ceiling, and you can see it there. And now that's dry, and today I'm putting a coat of paint on it, but you can see it's not covering especially well. It's not bad for an old place, but see how those tannins in the wood and stuff are sort of bleeding through. So I did the same thing in here. I pulled the ceiling out of here as well, you know. And but this is one coat of that Zinsser 123, and I'm going to do another coat of 123 before I try and paint it. So because it's just old raw wood, and it's really it's a combination of soaking up that primer, and some of those tannins around the knots and things like that are just bleeding through. And so I think that's what I'm going to do. You see it here. See that? The coloration coming through. Maybe we won't be able to block it all, but I think it deserves a coat of 123. Got it here. So I'm going to do another coat of that before I hit it with the paint. So yeah, it's a rescue job. It's coming. It's looking better. That ceiling looks so much better than that old drywall that was up there. And it's kind of got that, you know, you look at these, if you go on Pinterest, not to say this is Pinterest quality, but if you go on Pinterest and you look at these, you know, little seaside cabins and stuff like that, they often have just the raw board sort of whitewashed. And, it's, you know, it's emulating that in some degree like this. So, you know, it's a fresh start for this old place. I mean, this is about I don't know how old this is. It's close to a 100-year-old cabin. And, you know, it's been rode hard and put away wet for many years. And, so it's got some work, you know, that needs to be done, but it's a start. So yeah, I'm gonna get geared up and put some Zinsser up there, and I'll get back to you and show you what I've accomplished. Okay, so I put that second coat of 123 on this ceiling in here. I think it makes quite a difference, quite a change. It's still, you can see bleeding through a little bit here, but that may happen, until you get how many coats of paint on it, I don't know. But it's a lot better. So the next step with this is going to be paint on top of that, maybe 1 or 2 coats, but it took me about, I don't know, 3 hours, I guess, to do all this with a brush. It would probably be good if I could spray it, but don't have a sprayer. Anyway, this little place is coming along. I got to do some wiring here coming up, so that's going to come along. There's no, there was just one light in the ceiling here with a pull string, and there's 2 receptacles in the kitchen and 1 in that other room, and that's all there's ever been. It's the old style fuse box here. Let me see here. It's the old style fuse box, and so I don't know what it would be for a service. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's about a 50 amp service or something in here, but it's enough to run some lights and plugs and a few things. And there was always a stove here. This is actually going to the recycler tomorrow. I'm going to move that along. There's an old fridge in here. This works actually. I got the door off because I moved it out into the other room last year, but that still works. That's like from the 50s or 60s or something, right? It's an old Viking refrigerator. And I tried it last summer and it worked perfectly. The freezer worked cold, and so yeah, that's when they used to make appliances, Anyway, that's all for now.